Have you ever had something go right in your business, even a little bit, and secretly worry, is this a fluke? Is it all going to end soon? If so, then you're not alone. I felt this all the time. Whenever anything good happens, I secretly worry that this is going to be the end. People are going to figure out, oh, they're all looking at me, right? They're all going to figure me out at some point. So if you've ever felt that, then I think you're going to enjoy this call that we did with Lauren. Now, this was one of the hot seats for my business mentorship program called the Online Trainer Academy. Every 2 weeks, what I do is I bring 4 people on and we do a deep dive into their business. And one of the things that we realized in this mentorship with Lauren was that what she did worked really well. And the worst thing that she could do to continue that momentum would be to not appreciate that and not actually figure out a way to go deeper with what she was already doing. And you'll see what I mean in this call. You see, what often happens is something will go well, great, awesome. And then the person who that happens to will just jump to the next tactic, jump to the next thing, and never actually build up momentum with what worked. In this case, as you'll soon hear, Lauren did a really, really good job of listening to her clients, of building what they needed. And then what I do is I help her actually turn that into more than just a one-time kind of win. So I really hope that you do enjoy listening to this hot seat. I hope that it helps you get through some of the stuff that I know that I struggle with as well. Enjoy. Lauren, let's start with just really, really quick who you are, who you help, and what are we talking about?
Sounds good. So I'm Lauren. I am a new coach. I just got my certifications in nutrition and my CPT in last fall, so not even a year into it. And I still work full time as a head of people slash HR for a software company. So I have an end date with that. So this is like crunch time right now. And my client avatar is me. It's busy corporate working moms who have prioritized work and their family over themselves and their wellness. And I had my own journey the last 8 years, and I started my Instagram page solely based on that and just sharing my story. And realized a year ago that I wanted to do this for a living and got my
Cool.
certifications.
So just to
So
be
my
clear, you
following
started your Instagram page before you were a coach, even just kind of like sharing what you were doing. Is that right?
exactly. So all my
Cool.
original organic growth was from pre becoming a coach.
Cool.
And since then, I've been gaining and losing followers because now that this is all I talk about, a lot of those people aren't like, they don't need to be here anymore. So,
Right. But I noticed, because one of the things that I always ask, of course, is what's like, especially if we're talking about content, which I think we're talking about with you, is what's like a really good post or really good example of something that worked well with you. And you have a fantastic one that I want to share. But let's I'm going to swing the bike back to you and kind of keep going with what do you really want to cover today?
um, is this a fluke that things are going well for me? How do I really make this happen and continue to happen? Because I feel like I'm on a good trajectory right now, but I just get really nervous that I've just been lucky and that it's, my favorite followers who like loved me that signed on. And now is that going to dry up?
Right. Basically, are they all going to figure me out? They're all looking at me. Oh my God, I'm a fraud. When is this going to end? Which is this existential crisis that we all have. I feel that every single day of my life. Oh my God, if this one thing happens, what? It's all over. Like I'm gonna have to get a real job, and so in your case, you're gonna have to go back to a real job. I mean, first and foremost, like what I want to really hit on, because I think it's a big part of your story, is that so much of how you've had success is because you've told your story as you, and it's been so personal to you. And even just this one post, let me pop this open. This was your pre-launch freebie, so I'm gonna share it, and I'll share my screen if that's cool with everybody. Uh, where are we at? Okay, here. Can everybody see my screen? Oops. What did I just do? There we go. Okay. So your pre-launch freebie here did really, really well. And I mean, it's just very dialed in. Like it's a good picture of you. It's like a real picture of you. It's not a fake picture of you. It's very, very clear on what it is. But the thing that I want to really hit on with this is that when you're doing freebies, and you did a good job with this one, whether on purpose or by accident, I don't know. I mean, I didn't coach you through this, so I won't take credit for it, but you did a very good job with this. Is that, I just want to make sure it's muted. Okay. When you, oh God, Zoom, it's impossible. When you're doing a freebie, a big mistake that a lot of people make is they try to do too much with that freebie, as opposed to just saying, what's one easy thing that I can give to somebody that's going to allow them to take one step forward today or improve in some measurable way. And when you're talking about nutrition, the easiest thing you could ever do is basically just help them get a little bit more protein in their diet. And that's what you've done here, which is brilliant. You show the thing as well, which is also really smart. I mean, a lot of the time people are like, hey, I have this ebook or I have this thing, and then they don't show it. Like, it's a digital download. Is that right?
Yeah, so I still haven't automated everything. So I sent it to them. I sent it over to them as a PDF.
Right, but
But I
it's a
do have
PDF. But
yeah.
you printed it, and you're showing it printed in the photo, which is so smart. So talk to me about what led to you doing this.
Well, one of the biggest challenges most of my clients face is figuring out protein, and
Mm-hmm.
like a lot of typical women under eating on protein.
How did you
And
figure that out?
well, I like forever before I even was a coach would just post like random stuff, and I always post. I eat the same breakfast every day, and so I'd post like my yogurt bowl, and everyone's
Okay.
always asking like, "What is that? What are you eating?" And they all want to know. And this one got, I'm not shocked, surprised, but everybody will always, anytime you post anything food related, people want the recipe. They want to know like more about it. They think that's like the answer, you know? I'm just going to eat what she eats, even though I'm very careful not to do like what I eat in a day type posts or things like that. So no, I just knew it was a challenge for them. It was used to be a challenge for me too. So, and yeah, I got a lot of responses. I will say a lot of them, didn't necessarily end up resulting in conversions to calls, but some of them did actually, but not.
No, but they won't. I mean, look, I put out a call for a free course for a free Instagram or for a free online training course, not Instagram course. And I did it through a story, and we had over 1,000 responses. And I had Alina and her husband actually, who helped me out, responded to every single person with the link. And they responded as them. They said, hey, this is Alina, I'm helping John out, whatever, right? Like they didn't pretend it was me, and sent all of them a link. There was like 300 opt-ins for the course, right? And we've sold now from that, because the free course, of course, leads into the online trainer academy. There was definitely an uptick in sales, but it's a conversion game. So for sure, I mean, if you get 100 people in, you're going to convert probably 3 to 5% realistically into clients right then. But holy crap, then these folks are going to be making your breakfast in the morning, and they're going to be thinking of you, and now you're going to be top of mind. And so I think there's a few, like, I think you did this beautifully. Like, I got nothing. Like, you nailed this. And you nailed this because you listen to your people so well. And so I don't have a lot of like sage advice for you, other than the biggest mistake that people make, that I made in my career, is that when they started having some success, they kind of changed what they were doing to get to that point. You know your audience really well because it's you. You listen to them. You also listen to the feedback of, hey, when I'm posting food stuff, everybody asks me for the recipe. And you just kind of follow along there. And so I would say keep doing that. And then can you use it and maybe create like a contest or a challenge out of it? So you can do it as like a pre-launch freebie, right? Which is totally cool. But you could promote that book once every few weeks. I mean, you know it works. And so could you promote that book once every few weeks? And could you do it as some sort of a contest where, hey, for this next month, for these next 28 days, is the Add More Protein at Breakfast challenge. In order to enter the challenge, get this recipe book and tag me in a post or a picture or a story whenever you make a recipe from this book. And at the end of the 28 days, I'm going to choose somebody who did it to win 3 months of my signature coaching program, whatever the name is, which, by the way, costs this amount of money or valued at this amount of money, $1,500, $2,000 worth of coaching from me. And you just rinse and repeat that.
I love that. That's such a good idea.
Like, just rinse and repeat that. Like you have something that works. You don't need anything else.
Yeah.
You just need to do more of what works and figure out over time how to better and better leverage this thing. The worst mistake that a lot of folks make is they have something that works and they're like, cool, that worked. Okay, on to something else. It's like, nah, man, you got it. Like create a challenge around that book, Protein at Breakfast. You could become like, I don't know, the Protein at Breakfast girl. You could create this whole like momentum around that, this whole challenge around that. I mean, think about what this could even turn into as it grows, as more people are posting pictures of it. Well, folks are coming back to you. Put that link in your bio. Like, get more protein at breakfast. You were DMing them the PDF, right?
Yeah.
Do you have it as like an email thing?
Well, I could set it up, and I have a like MailChimp thing. I just need to get better at like setting up so that it's actually something they can just click on. So I could totally do that, and I would do that before. It was a lot. That's a great idea. I was thinking, because when I saw Madison talking a lot about her challenge, and I was like, oh, what kind of challenge could I ever do, or what would that look like? I love how you just kind of walked through that idea of the workflow of what that could look like, and that's a great. I mean, I think you get like working with one person isn't a lot to take on, right? Like for the cost of what it would be, but that number of people get excited about it, I think would work really well. Also, what you said resonates so much because a couple of months ago, like before I joined OTM, I literally I said this when I was talking on my call for OTM. It was like throwing spaghetti at the wall. Like I was just trying everything. And you see a lot of coaches posting like exercise demos, and so I did that for a while. Oh my gosh, they were getting nothing. It was getting nothing. And my coach, who I still, work with, she gets thousands of likes on hers, but that's what works for her. And so I stopped doing it. And now I still do it in my stories sometimes, just like form cues and things like that. Sure. But I don't do, yeah. So you're right. Like once you find what works for you, that's really helpful advice. Thank you.
Thanks so much for listening to that call with Lauren. I wanted to recommend another podcast for you to listen to. This is episode 23 of The Obvious Choice. It's called Scarily Simple Marketing You Should Try. And if you enjoyed this call with Lauren, I think that you'll really benefit from listening to this episode as well, because it talks about kind of doing the scary marketing things that you think that you should do, but maybe are stopping yourself from doing. And I think you'll really benefit from listening to it. So if you're looking for something else to listen to right now, just flip over to the podcast app, wherever you're listening to this. Go to episode 23, Scarily Simple Marketing You Should Try. Give it a listen. And if you're interested in chatting with us about the mentorship, you can find me on Instagram at itscoachgoodman, and just send me a quick DM that just says mentor, and myself and my team will follow up with you. Thanks so much. Talk soon.